This game is called Moncage. I don't really know a ton about it, but the little bit that I saw on the store page was interesting enough. I figured, hey, we may as well try it out. This is what demos are for, after all. So we can rotate the image around here. Got like a box with a mirror. Well, I was going to say with a mirror on one side, but that doesn't actually seem to be what's behind us. Let's just zoom in here. And I guess open this up. Oh, interesting. Rotate to connect the matching parts. Somewhere around here. Okay, that's a pretty cool puzzle. So... Oh, this is quite different than it was. Is this gonna... Okay. I was a little worried we were about to turn on an incinerator there. Yeah, and you get to look around the room. This is really neat. Okay, what's going on here? This is access to the gears. Here's that camera. I mean, we're not going to be able to make anything happen there. These are not lined up right. It doesn't look like there's anything to interact with here. Oh. Okay. Oh, maybe we can... Hold on. Let me play around in this scene first. It's like that thing kind of looks like the arm that's... If I zoom out, can I make this work? No, that makes it worse. Okay, so we can get hints for the things that are interactable. Alright, actually, what is this showing me? Because obviously these two things are interactable. But I don't seem to be able to zoom in on the plant or the board or interact with them in any way. Huh. Well, yeah, this effect just doesn't quite work, right? Because they're different. They're too different in size. Can't actually interact with that road at all. If I zoom this out. Oh, that's... Huh. If I close this again, does this help? Oh. Oh, that's really interesting. That just disappear into a field of grain? Is that what happened there? Okay, and now we're zoomed in on the scene a little bit more. So this will make way more sense with the light. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm getting it. I'm starting to understand what we're doing here. This is really cool. You know, this reminds me a little bit of a puzzle game that came out... Oh, I want to say maybe like a year or two ago called Gorogoa. So hold on, let's zoom out here. That's really neat that it was two elements from the same scene but with an interconnected piece of the other scene. Okay, what have I accomplished by filling this room with water? Does that actually affect the water? No, it doesn't affect the water in the other scene. Okay. Let's keep it on for the moment. What is that? Hey, this wasn't here before. Okay, well, now we have that. Okay, yeah, we never got any benefit out of, never got any benefit out of this thing being turned around yet, so... What can we get? Well... I don't really see an obvious connection here. Ooh, what's this? Can we open that little safe? Got another picture. Somebody just took a photograph of a drone. Well, that doesn't seem hugely directly relevant. Can I pedal the bike? No. Oh, yeah. I should probably stop using the hint thing. I should probably try to figure stuff out myself. So now... What does this do? Oh, right. Now I have this. What did that do? I'm not actually certain I understand what that did. What if we try turning it the other way? Now, all it does is... I guess it moves the... this thing on the bike. It moves the pedal. But to what end? Okay, nothing different happens when we increase the water level. Not a huge surprise. And, wondering what it is that we're supposed to be getting from the door being opened. Or actually, is there something that we're supposed to be able to connect? Oh! There are multiple scenes that I didn't even realize we had accessed. Okay. Well, there's another photograph. Not quite sure what to make of these yet. I mean, obviously, there's an implication that the kid in the one photograph is the grown-up with the same haircut in the other photograph, because, you know, that's how we do... Oh, we're filling in the, picture frames around the room. Okay, that's interesting. Huh. Doesn't seem like there's too much to interact with in these other two. Relatively simple scenes. Haven't even found a photograph in this one. So all we can see in there is the water. Yeah, I'm not sure what we're looking for here. Why does it matter to us what position the bike's thing is in? Can't make anything fit there. Or there. We still haven't really gotten any use out of the fact that, like, what is hanging on the back of this thing. We got use out of the wheel part itself. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I guess I'm gonna... Let's take a hint here. Can't actually interact with that at all. So it sure doesn't look like we're ready to do anything with this just yet. This one, the slide is important. Again, might not be just yet. I sort of appreciate the style of the hint system where it gives you the what but not the when. You don't necessarily know. Why is this glowing like that? Oh wow, I don't know how long it would have taken me to notice that. Alright, more pictures from childhood. It looks like maybe that's it though, because that area of the photo was not actually glowing. Right, like in this way. It just had an indication that there's maybe a thing to touch over here. Yeah, interesting. Okay, this over here is it's glowing, but I don't know what to make. Oh. Well, this doesn't really help me though, because there's no way to do the thing I would need to do here, unless we can in this side of the thing. Oh, hold on now. If we can, in fact, find a way to make this work. Oh, that's kind of a shape like what do you call it? So wait, we want to kind of a shape like a bike pedal is what you call it. And do this. There we go. Okay, we're accomplishing something here. So we've thrown a bunch of stuff all out of order, and let's see, that doesn't seem to mesh with anything in this scene, nor really with anything in that scene. Here we have boxes and stuff, but a change of perspective might be necessary on one of the surrounding scenes in order for that to work. Hold on a second. No, these are the same wheel, but not in the not in compatible places, sadly. Is this unlocked any new ability to click around here at all? No, nothing we can expand to. Interesting. So there's a version of this where we make this work. It requires a very different angle on this, the wheel on the top face here. I'm wondering, actually, once I'm in this angle, can I click around to anywhere? That's not what I meant to do. You know what I need to do is probably raise the water level, because that floats, doesn't it? Yeah, there we go. Look at that, we're getting it. Okay, that's a big deal. That's a lot of movement. What even is this? What are we looking at here? Well, this seems significant somehow. I hit this again, and we get this animation again, but like, what does this do for us? It automatically turns this way. So I wonder if there's an angle I could put us at here. It would make something meaningful happen. Oh, also, there's a hidden switch. Oops, that's not... Again, I keep right-clicking on things to interact with them, but that is in fact just how you unzoom the camera. What are we looking at here? I don't know what that's supposed to be. Well, is there anything in any of the nearby scenes we could mesh in here? No, that's not going to work. Okay, this face has changed entirely. Well, this is fascinating. Maybe not actually helpful, though. I don't think we're going to be able to connect anything in these two faces. You know, rather than making you all watch me flail around here as I try to figure it out, we might be in a good place to stop. I think you probably, at this point, get the idea of what this is. This is a really interesting idea for a puzzle game. A puzzle game that takes place entirely on the sides of a box. And, like, these perspective puzzles are super cool. Especially, I especially thought the one where we united the wheel over the three sides was really neat. This is just a super cool thing. This is Mystic Pillars. What I know about this one is, it's a puzzle game. That's it. It's a puzzle game and there's some pretty colors. Let's get in here and see if we can't find out a little bit more. I mean, I certainly hope we can find out a little bit more, because otherwise this game's going to be very difficult to play.
ನಿರ್ಜನ ಸ್ಥಳವೊಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತೀರಿ. ನೀವು ಹಾಗೆ ಮುಂದುವರಿಯುತ್ತಿದ್ದಂತೆ ಆ ಭೂಪ್ರದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಎದ್ದು ನಿಂತಿದ್ದ ದೈತ್ಯಾಕಾರದ ಕಂಬಗಳ ನೆರಳುಗಳನ್ನು ಗಮನಿಸುತ್ತೀರಿ. ಅವುಗಳ ನಿಗೂಢತೆಯಿಂದ ಆಕರ್ಷಿತರಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಆ ಕಂಬಗಳ ಬಳಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೀರಿ.
Yeah, I mean, look at all of that mysticity. You reach the gigantic pillars and start wondering how these came into existence. You get a feeling that you can interact with the pillars. That's a weird kind of feeling to get. Okay, click on pillar to select. I've done it. Click outside to deselect. Click on this to move a gem. Okay. So the number on the pillar is the number of gems that it has, and when you move a gem off of a pillar... So total gems moved is based on the distance between the pillars. So if I click on this one... Okay, it moves both of the pillars too. It doesn't drop one off along the way. For a second there I thought it was going to kind of be like Moncage. Pillars come down crumbling with a loud thud, and you notice something glittering amid the debris. You find a mysterious book at the base of one of the destroyed pillars. The cover is decorated with motifs of the pillars, magic, and water framing a delicate carving of a woman's face. You feel that this book might be of some use and carry it along with you. Okay, that's a weird way to bind a book, but alright. You see a silhouette which seems to be coming from the village in the horizon, walking towards you. As it gets closer, you realize it's an ailing woman with a child by her side. Greetings. May I know what this place is called, and why it is so deserted? You have reached the kingdom called Zampi. There isn't much to see, and the people are weary and weak due to the drought. We recall the time when we were prosperous under the rule of the great Zampi kings. Okay, so why is it in this state now? One night some pillars rose magically on the river Tungabhadra. They block the river flow to all the villages, thereby causing the drought. Well, that is really unfortunate. Is there any way I can help? Zampi will not see the river Tungabhadra until someone destroys those pillars. I am not sure how you can be of any help, but continue down this path to reach Hosapete. I'm guessing that's not Hosapete. A once thriving agricultural village. And then I just, turn around and she said walk this way. I'll just follow her orders, I guess. You walk in the direction of Hosapete, curious to see if you can aid the villagers by destroying these pillars. I don't know what the language root of that is, so I have no idea if I'm pronouncing it correctly or not. My guess is, no, I am not. You reach the pillars in that place and stare at them, contemplating. People have been living like this for years together, and many have deserted this place in search of water, but those who remained have been trying to adapt with the pillars. As you start thinking about how to destroy the pillars, you sense the presence of a different kind of magic behind you. You turn to face a ghostly figure that appears to be a man native to this place. He is well dressed, a stark contrast to the villager you saw earlier. The spirit gives you a sharp look. Who woke me from my deep slumber? Ah, you seem to be new to this place. Yeah, that's right. I'm just a traveler. I was passing by and heard about these pillars blocking the river. Who are you? The spirit pauses and appears to be thinking about something. You sense that the spirit knows a lot more about the pillars than he lets on. I am the guardian of these pillars. Okay, well, sense confirmed. You must be pretty conceited to think that you can destroy these pillars. No one has been able to do it so far. The task demands sheer intelligence. Alright, I want to try it out. I have a good feeling about this. You know, if there's anything that people have said consistently about my intelligence, it's that you can see right through it. The spirit sweeps a glance all over you and notices the book in your arms. My, what do you have here? You have found the book Parihara. Parihara, what's that? This book contains information to break the magic binding the pillars. Of course, it doesn't say anything about the actual method to do that. That's where your intellect comes in. Frowning, you ignore the spirit's remarks and walk towards the pillars. I'm done with this conversation. You get the distinct feeling that he finds your determination amusing. It's not a feeling, I could see him laughing. Okay, whatever, it's fine. There's a weird interaction with a weird guy in a weird place. Win condition, make it 1-1-1 in one move. Okay, well that seems simple enough. Look at that, we did it. I proved that I was paying attention during the tutorial. Okay, so just keep removing the pillars to make the valley not horribly unairable. Is there a word for not air? Whatever. Okay, so here we just... No, sorry, we want to... Oh wait, but if I do this, then I'm going to end up with... Yeah, that's bad. Hold on. Right, I just move 2 over and then move 1 of those back. That's how you do that. Okay. Easy, and it only took 2 tries. 2-1-1-1. So we want to move 2 gems over here. 1 gem off the 3 and 1 gem off the 2. Okay, I think I understand the basic idea. 02001. So in order to make it an... Huh. Am I allowed to select a pillar that's further away than the number of gems? What would happen? Okay, they just all move. Well, I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't thinking ahead there, but I accidentally solved the puzzle. I just picked that one because it was one outside the range of where I knew what would happen. Or wait, no, 1, 2, 3. That was totally just 3 moves. Well, never mind me. It was... Listen, the point is, I solved the puzzle. So in 4 moves, 5-1-0. So if we move 1 gem over to here, then we can bounce these 2 onto that, and then we just do 2 single moves. Presumably, these will become a little bit more difficult at some point here. In only 3 moves. So moving gems from here... I guess this is the play, right? We need the 3 and 2 to be reversed. I thought this one was just too easy for you, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, obviously. There's definitely some, there's a weirdness to the language here that suggests to me that the devs are maybe not native English speakers. So move 2 of the gems to here and 2 of the gems to here. Yeah, easy. It turns out SB can count to 4. Now you have proof. I know there have been some moments in the channel's history when maybe that was a thing that was up for debate. So we can split this into... Actually, no, this is like really simple, right? We just move 2, and then move 2, and then move 1, and then move 1. It's like, that was very straightforward. This is basically like the only thing we could do there. I like the idea, I'm just waiting for it to get a little more difficult. Okay. So, we have 4 moves, which means we can't just... I guess what we want to do is make a 2... No, this isn't... We're not going to be able to get this done fast enough. I was thinking make a 2 and make a 2, and then split the gems out, so one gem from each of these goes into that to make a 2. But we're... that will eventually create the shape we're looking for, but it won't create it nearly fast enough. If I move 4 to here... Nope, 3, because I can't count. And then move another 3 to there. How do I... Let me unselect the pillar. Move another 3 to there. Then 2 and 2. There we go. Alright, they're getting slightly more difficult. They're getting difficult enough that I have to think a little bit more. Let's see. In 4 moves, can I move a gem? Like, would this work? No, okay. It does have to be within range. So I thought I was testing that earlier, but it turned out I just couldn't count. Can't count to 3, absolutely can count to 4. It's just a weird blind spot. You know, like King Arthur. So if we move... In order to remove all of the gems from this quickly, we definitely have to move... Oh, I see it. I was going to say, we definitely have to move these gems all the way to the edge of the puzzle just to clear that center pillar. And now that we've done this, it's straightforward enough. You just have to cross the middle point. Yeah, I had a moment there where I was like, well, how are we going to get those onto the adjacent pillar all in one move? So we could move these as far as here. Oh, I only get 2 moves. Okay, sorry. So we have to merge them first, and then make a single 4-point move. The tightness of some of the move counts is actually giving us a lot of information. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, huh? Well, we can move... We can move up to 4... I have 4 moves. This one's a little more interesting. So we can move up to 4 gems to there, and if I did that... No, that's definitely not right. So if we start by trying to make this a 3, we have 2 gems to there, then we're 3, 5, 7, 5, 5. We can easily move 2 gems over to here to make that a 7. But that doesn't actually... Let me just actually do it. Instead of trying to do it all in my head, which is probably even less interesting to watch. So we could move these over and make that 7. If we do that, we only have 2 moves left. And it's not easy to turn the 4 into a 6. I mean, we can move 2 gems off of this to turn it into a 3, 3. I guess, actually, it's 2 single moves. I got myself into a place where it seemed like making single moves was wrong, based on, you know, multiple puzzles where making single moves would have taken us over the move count. And so I just... Somehow I internalized that rule, and I couldn't see that that was the right thing to do there for a couple of seconds. Villagers are praising you for a long life of happiness. Well, that's nice of them. I thought you were supposed to be the guardian of the pillars. Shouldn't you be trying to stop me from doing the thing that I'm doing right here? He's not a very good guardian, is what we've learned. Bravo! I must admit that you have a reasonable amount of intelligence. Now the villagers of... that we forgot how to spell the name of the village, can live happily. No, it is too soon to celebrate. This is just the beginning. There are 7 more villages to be saved. The question is, do you have it in you? Well, I certainly do. Let's proceed. The spirit smiles without a trace of contempt and floats ahead of you, leading the way. You pace with the spirit eagerly to help the other villages. What is this place? This was one of the villages under the Zampi kingdom. Zampi used to be ruled for generations by a powerful and benevolent family of nobility. Well, did something bad happen? Apparently my question is not to be answered, because we have all these pillars to deal with. Either that or I'm about to have a story cinematic or something, or maybe... Yeah, here we go.
ಒಟ್ಟು 8 ಗ್ರಾಮಗಳಿದ್ದವು. ಹಂಪಿ ಅದರ ರಾಜಧಾನಿಯಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಜಂಪಿ ಪ್ರಭುಗಳು ತುಂಗಭದ್ರಾ ನದಿಯನ್ನು ತಮ್ಮ ದೇವತೆಯೆಂದು ಪೂಜಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದರು. ಈ ಗ್ರಾಮಗಳೆಲ್ಲವೂ ತುಂಗಭದ್ರಾ ತೀರದಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದವು. ಅದೇ ಅವರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ನೀರನ್ನು ಉಣಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದದ್ದು. ಜಂಪಿ ಪ್ರಭುಗಳಿಗೆ ಭೂಮಿಯನ್ನೇ ಕದಲಿಸುವ ಅಲೌಕಿಕ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇತ್ತೆಂಬ ಐತಿಹ್ಯವಿದೆ. ಜಂಪಿಯ ಮೊದಲ ದೊರೆ 1ನೇ ಭರತನ ವರ್ಷಗಳ ದೀರ್ಘ ತಪಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಮೆಚ್ಚಿ ಭೂದೇವಿ ಈ ವರವನ್ನು ಅನುಗ್ರಹಿಸಿದ್ದಳಂತೆ. ಆಗಿನಿಂದಲೂ ಈ ವರವು ಮುಂದಿನ ಅವನ ಸಂತತಿಗೆ ಪಾರಂಪರಾನುಗತವಾಗಿ ಒಲಿದಿತ್ತು. ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿಯೇ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತಿರುವಾಗ ಜಂಪಿಯ ಇತಿಹಾಸದಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಕರಾಳ ದಿನವೊಂದು ಬಂದು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿತು. ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯದ ದೆಸೆಯೇ ಬದಲಾಗಿ ಹೋಯಿತು.
Well, that sure looks like our spirit friend. And what happened on that day? We have reached Huligi, where all the blacksmiths used to live. Save the people here, and I will tell you what happened. But let me warn you, it won't be easy. I expected so. I'm ready. I'm ready for some more pillars. Also, it sounded like the voiceover called the river Tungabhadra. So, apparently, if we'd like to pronounce it correctly in the future, that's how to do it. 4 moves left. So we can move, at most, 2 gems over to the right. So we do that, and then we make a couple of single moves to merge things into the middle. I thought you said this was going to get more difficult. I mean, I'm digging the basic idea here, but it is taking a while to ramp up, isn't it? I really do like the colors. Only 2 moves. Well, I see a way to do it in 3. 2 moves. Oh, right. Because it's 2 moves, the only possible way to do it is to take everything to the end in a single play. Again, the really tight move counters are giving away what the answer must be a little bit. Although without the really tight move counters, obviously it would just be, you would have just done it in the 3 move way that I saw initially. So this would be a move of 5 out to here. And then we could move some back. So if we do that, if we do a 5 and a 2, that clears the first pillar very quickly and efficiently. And then to leave 3, we have to move 2 to here. There it is. Yeah, so far, I think it may just maybe be a thing of the main puzzle design here, that the way the stones move means there aren't really a lot of wrong answers to try, wrong answers that even could be reasonable. So we need to gather all the stones together and move them all at once. Okay, let's keep moving along 20 here. I'm curious if these get harder as the numbers go up, or if all of the puzzles in each village are intended to be like roughly the same difficulty. Okay, let's see here. So because we have to move this to that pretty quickly, the only way we're going to be able to do that is by getting more gems onto that pillar, so that we can move them all together. Okay, this is a little bit more complicated. Let's see here. So the biggest problems are the 12 and the 5. It's not actually that hard to move the 5 up to an 8 because we can move two gems off of the 12. And that almost solves it right there. We can make these two 8s just by a single gem moving from the 9 to the 7. That leaves us with 7, 7, 10. So maybe the right thing actually to do here is to move... I only have 4 moves. Maybe the right thing is to move from the 12 to the 7 immediately. That leaves this at 10 with no easy way to fix the 5. Okay, this is definitely more interesting because of the fact that we have so many more gems to work with. There's a larger number of potential moves on each play. I think maybe the simplicity that was plaguing the earlier puzzles was maybe less in the move counter and more in the small number of gems you had to work with in total. Okay, if we... Also, do I actually think that we should never touch this 8? Is this here so that we don't play with it? That feels wrong to me. It feels like each pillar is probably used at least once. Let's just start trying stuff here. So if we do that, we can fix... How do we fix this? Because we can make this an 8 pretty simply by moving 2 gems onto the 7. But then we have a problem where it's really easy to move stuff... Like, it's really easy to move gems off of the corners onto this, but it's very difficult to get everything to 8. Alright, my initial inclination was to do that. How are we going to deal with this 7? It's like this, moving 1 9 off onto the 7 seems fairly obvious. But I wonder if I need to, if we're going to need to use this as a way of holding additional gems. I'm just thinking, like, the number of gems on this pillar is a real problem. So, we could... And it's difficult to move the gems one by one because of how few moves we have. So it feels like every move has to do a lot of, has to get a lot of value. Well, if I move 3 off to here... No, that doesn't do anything, what was I thinking? For some reason I was thinking this was going to make these both 8s, because apparently I forgot how to count at some point in the last 40 seconds or so. This is what I get for trash talking the puzzles. We get to one and we get very publicly stuck. You know what? Let's back up. Let's go do the other puzzles in this village. Let's earn our way up here. So, my impression is that, yes, they do get more difficult as the number goes up. Okay, so we have to get 3 gems onto here. We could do that by moving... I have 4 moves. We can move 4 gems onto this from the 7. And then move 1 off. That's probably not right. 4 gems off of the 7 leaves it as a 3. So then we have to find a way to get 3 more gems back onto it. We'd move all 4 gems off of the 4. That makes it easy enough to move these 2 back on there to make it a 2. And then we have 1 gem wrong between these 2 pillars, which unfortunately is a problem that's not actually all that easily solved. We could use the 2 to start this pillar. And then move... And it's actually going to be kind of tricky to get exactly 3 gems on this pillar without using like half of our moves just on that. And again, we're in a situation where it's like, part of my brain is going, well, this is already 5. We don't need to worry about it. But if that was the case, would it even be here? What if we... Yeah, I'm also pretty torn about what to do with this too. Because of the fact that we have... Because of the fact that it's so easy to get the 7... onto to split a bunch of gems off onto this pillar and then move 1 over to here. It feels like the 2 should be split, 1 on this pillar and then 1 goes that way, but that's, you're spending a lot of moves getting 1 gem around. Well, I'm very pleased to see that this got quite a bit more difficult very quickly. If we move 3 gems from this 5 onto this 2... Now, in order for this to be easy, we'd have to end up with 3 gems here. It could all bounce onto there. Which is not a thing we can really do. The problem with everything I'm seeing, stuff like this, where we do recombines, is that it's just too many total moves. Right now we have 1 move left to fix all of the other problems. That's definitely not the way to go. So, because of the tight move counter, if we're going to put more gems on this than 3, it has to be a large enough number that we can get them off to somewhere more useful. We also have a problem with this turning into a 2, which is actually pretty awkward to do. So we need to have 2 gems on here. So we could like move 2 gems off of the 5 onto that, and then onto that. But again, that's half of our moves. It's tricky to do. It's tricky to do multiple things at once. Moving 3 gems onto here would allow me to use this 2. I think that's it. If we move 3 gems onto here, then 1 of those gems to here, that lets me use this 2 to create the 3 and puts us in... Yeah, puts us in a good position. Okay, so sometimes you will be handed a pillar with gems on it that has the correct amount of gems already, just as a red herring. Okay, we're picking it up. We're getting there. Only 2 moves. That's interesting. So my first inclination is 3 gems off to here. Then, for some reason, I was thinking in my head that would be like a reasonable number of moves. That's like twice as many moves. My point was, hey, that doesn't quite work. But it doesn't quite work by even more than I was thinking when I started talking. So, we could... If we want to make this 2 in a single move, we have to move 3 gems to here or here. Oh, this totally works. Because this... Yeah, that's the same traversal distance. Just make the 3 and then move it exactly across the wheel. I bet you never expected that coming. A tricky one indeed. I mean, I guess. It's less tricky than the last one, I think. Let's try to keep all of these lessons in mind here. Okay, all the gems gotta get moved. So, that 2 is pretty easy to move. But I think getting the 4 to here is pretty straightforward. Is this as easy as it looks? Because it looks really easy, right? I almost talked myself into attempting something that was way more difficult than this because that looked... that's a kind of difficulty. Making a solution that the player will assume can't possibly be the right solution. Okay, so... This is the same thing, right? The gems have to go and pick up their friend. And then use the carpooling to get back. That doesn't work. Also, what is that metaphor? But it's got to be something kind of similar to that, right? Because there's not a lot of ways to move stuff around here. Not a lot of time in which to move stuff around. If we were to only move 2 gems out, we could move those 2 into the middle, but then, or onto the 1, but then we can't get them back in time. I really thought I was onto something there. You could see that, the speed with which I did that. I was like, yeah, I solved it. I'm so smart. Now I just feel real dumb again. If we move... So if we do anything other than... Oh. If we move this guy out to here... Yeah, you can't. You cannot trivially pick him up. Feels like I must be missing something very obvious. Because, again, there's only 3 moves and we don't really have a huge variety of possibilities here. So merging the gems... The only way to merge all the jewels is to put them all here. Any other version of the merge takes way too many total moves. I'm not exactly correct about that, am I? Because we can walk the 3 around to create the 4 right here, because this is the only location where you can create the 4, where it actually moves over. Well, I mean here, obviously, but there's no way to get the 1 over to there. There we go. You just gotta consider the constraints and work within the constraints. So now we're back to this nightmare, where unfortunately, there are no constraints because there's so many gems. You could do pretty much anything you want, anywhere you want, and apparently, that is my kryptonite. If we... So that 8 totally could be a pillar that just stays 8 for the entire process. We know that now. They will design a puzzle that way. We could... If we moved gems from the 9 to the 5, we would create a situation where we have a bunch of 7s and also this 12 and also only 3 moves left. That feels like it's probably not right. If I move 2 and 2 to create a 9 and a 7, yep, apparently that's it. All I needed to do was get away from it for a minute. Once again there, I was a little guilty of trying to overcomplicate the puzzle. Because it seemed to me that I needed a more complicated solution than the one I had. Alright, in 4 moves. It seems to me, immediately, a constraint that this 4 has to move all at once because we have to, we can't have any gems left over on this pillar. They'd never get out of there. So if we do this, and then merge the 2 in, now we've got a 6 that can drop a 3 off here, but that doesn't leave this 3 anything to do. Right? We can make this happen, but we have 1 move now to do a thing that would take 3 moves to do. So it's something like that. It's in that neighborhood. If we just use the 4 to deposit a 3 here, then... Yeah, what about that? If we use the 4 to deposit a 3 here, and then move the 1 onto the 4 there, then we can go... Nope, I don't like this at all. We could drop 3 off here, but this doesn't... Yeah. It really does feel like with only 4 moves left, moving all 4 of those gems at once is probably right. Because anything where we move 3 off and then we move 1 off to join with the 3, or we try to do a 2 and 2, feels like it's going to take way too many moves to get anything done. If we use the... Wait, both of the other 3s are 3 moves away from that tile. We just merge everything. And then we fire 3s off. Ah, no. That's a totally workable solution if you have 5 moves available. Actually, it's true the other way, though. If we consolidate here, both of these 3s are also 3 tiles away from this end of the puzzle. There we go. We developed a solution by successive approximation there. If I were you, I would watch my move from now on. It's just explicitly threatening me. I'm not afraid of you, man in a... I don't even know what to call the article of clothing you're wearing because I'm not very educated about other cultures. 6 moves left. Well, how do we combine these cleanly? So we don't have to make the 7 happen at this end. We could make it happen at that end and then just move them back, but I guess that's just an extra move for no reason. And if we start doing the thing that seems kind of intuitive, how difficult does that get? And then 2, 1, yeah, we run out of moves 1 short, because we'd combine these and then be out. So we have to combine them in a different way. The 1, 2, move this one in, then we can move the 3 to there, and that gives me a 4 in a position where it's maybe okay to have a 4, because we can move it in 2s. So 1, 2 to create the 3. Move 3 creates the 4. Then 5, 6. Yeah, again we're leaving a 1 out by doing that. We can... Creating a 4... Like, if we wanted to create a 4 here, is that a thing we could feasibly... We have to use this pretty early in the process, because it's got a lot of distance to cover, right? So that would suggest that this is a move we need to make. Because if we wait until this one has gone somewhere else to merge in, moving this one around becomes very expensive. And then once we have that too, there are actually kind of limited options for how we can move it around. So it's 5 spaces from where we're going. We can make another 2 and merge them, and then merge this. Move all 5 of those at once. There we go. Alright, I think this is working. We're getting it. And hey, look at that. We completed the demo. I kind of assumed that the next level would be the end, because it's a very natural breaking point. But apparently, that's the one. I think this is cool, and it took a moment to really wind up, but it got pleasantly difficult there toward the end. So yeah, that's Mystic Pillars. I think it's really neat. I also think that I maybe need to learn more about the cultures of the world so that I could recognize them when things emerge from them, because this is very obviously based on some stuff that I am embarrassingly unfamiliar with.